And hello everybody and welcome to In the Blue Corner, the Wednesday edition with me, Joe Luzza, all the way from Bangkok, and from all the way from Leafy Q, Chris Beach. How are you, Chris?
Good, thank you, Joe. It's a pleasure to be with you here again for another Wednesday night show of In the Blue Corner once again.
Yes, well, Chris and I have dubbed ourselves, well, I dubbed us, the Unofficial Match Committee. We'll be going through, first of all, we'll go through some injuries that I updated Chris on. We'll have a quick recap maybe about the Doggies game, Chris, that might sort of
Yes.
interest people. We'll go through who we think will come in and who we think will go out. And we'll take it from there. But in the meantime, we thought we'd start with Chris has got the Shane Warne State Memorial on in the background. So to Shane Warne's family and kids especially, it's very hard and we wish them all the best. Probably something they really don't want to live through again. I mean, I think they had a private funeral. It's pretty hard when loved ones pass away. So we're thinking of Shane and all his family. And Chris, you're the cricket person amongst us. Got any thoughts?
Well, aside from the obvious, Joe, it was a complete shock when we found out that Shane Warne died or passed away in Thailand, which is where you are currently. That said, he always loved being a big, lavish character. He loved putting himself out there, whether it was on the cricket field, whether it was off it, doesn't matter. He loved putting himself out there every single day. And in tribute tonight, I've decided to wear the Cricket Club hoodie, as you can see here. Cricket Club hoodie that I will be wearing for the as a tribute to him.
Oh, that's good. I don't have my cricket hat here. My cricket hat is still in my house in Australia. And I told Beachy, shout out to all my mates at the Barnawatha North Cricket Club in Mercantile D Division, winning their premiership on the weekend. And then most of the team came down with COVID after it at the celebrations, as they didn't realise one of the guys had COVID. But anyway. So, Chris, quick take on last week. You, me, and Vince, we predicted a close game. We put our foot on the accelerator a bit in the second quarter. Then it was pretty even in the third quarter. And then I thought the last quarter we looked like we ran out a bit of legs. We were a bit lucky that the Dogs couldn't kick straight. But I still think we deserved to win. We actually played better than the Dogs. What can you take out of last weekend's game?
The fact that we were able to hold on against a grand finalist like the Western Bulldogs. You said it yourself, Joe. I kicked away in the second quarter, but I think that's where we used most of our petrol tickets, where most games you will have to try and hang on to them in case if it gets close. Look, it was a 2-goal win, which I'm going to take, but nonetheless.
Absolutely. As I said on our Facebook page, Beachy, I'd rather be 2-0 than 0-2 at this stage, which is what we're normally used to for the last 10 years? Last 10 years?
Yeah,
anyway,
just about.
Look, I'm sure Michael Voss had a big influence, even though he wasn't at the game. I'm sure he was tuned into the coaches and gave Ashley Hansen a lot of knowledge beforehand. So, look, 2-0, happy to take it, mate. Very, very, very happy. Very happy.
Exactly. We're all going to take that, considering the last few starts we've had over the last few years.
Shocking. Before we get on to anything, I thought we'd go through. Now, this is our official injury list, according to AFL.com and the Carlton Football Club. So we all know that official and unofficial probably differ. I haven't heard anything different. So these are the injuries. It says Stocker ankle test. Chris tells me that the story coming out of the club is that he will probably play in the VFL this week. Won't probably be raced back into the seniors. I mean, he's had the interrupted pre-season, so probably best. Carroll, knee, 1 week. Okay. Marchbank, not a back related, but a knee, 5 weeks. Cunningham, who we all know is recovering from the knee reconstruction, he's out for 12 weeks. So probably, I don't know, Chris, he may struggle to get back in the team this year if he's coming in sort of around 14, 15, but still good to have some depth, which we've lacked for the last few years. Then we've got Phil, rib test, which differs to what I heard last week, where I heard he was probably going to miss 4 or 5 weeks. But hey, I'll take test. But I don't really know much about Phil. Maybe you can help us and help the audience. Ed Kerno, I didn't know he'd done a knee, but he's out with a knee injury, and it says 5 weeks on the sidelines. Let's just hope Charlie doesn't go out in sympathy with him. Josh Honey out with a knee, 3 weeks. And the one that probably impacts us the most, Chris, is Oscar McDonald is out with back spasms and is likely to, will definitely miss this week, which opens up one spot. And we'll go through the spots that we think are open in a minute. So, yeah, 1 week, possibly 2. So that's one forced change that we will have to have this week, Chris. So Oscar McDonald out. And as we were discussing before the show, that only leaves, in my view, two possible replacements, Lewis Young and Mr. Plough. Now, Ploughman played last week as a substitute.
As the medical sub, yes.
Yeah, probably was a bit inconspicuous, I guess. But where are you leaning to? Is it Young or Ploughman?
I'm probably thinking Young at this point. I want to see what he can do for us. Although, as someone that went to the game against the Western Bulldogs last Thursday, I was having a look at the sides when they were being named on the screen because it's no longer the scoreboards there.
Yeah.
We'll get to that down the track.
Yes.
Originally, it had Paddy Dow named as the medical sub. But later, before the game started, it then changed to Ploughman. So make what you will of that.
Do you think that they maybe knew that Oscar McDonald may be short with a back spasm or something? Is that what your thoughts there are?
Possibly, but it's hard to gauge because I know we're Carlton dominated program, but I'm going to use the Bulldogs as an example here as well, because the Bulldogs did the same thing. They mentioned that they named Stephen Martin as their medical sub, and then sooner or later that changed as well, because then sooner or later, because as you guys now know, rest is history.
Yeah. So so you're thinking Young, right?
Yep.
I'll disagree. I think it could be Ploughman. I know. Look, people bag him, and I pretty much not bag him. Yeah, he does some silly things, but I mean, to his defence, we've never really had a very good defensive structure in the midfield. While he's been there, and I think sometimes he's the victim of some of the poor defensive plays that we've had. I mean, he seemed, but he fumbles and he misses targets. But, let's face it, Liam Jones wasn't exactly. Every time he got the ball, you had your heart in your mouth thinking, oh, God, Liam, I hope you just hit a target. I guess Ploughman's job is to just sit in there and make sure that his opponent doesn't get a kick. And if he can do that, I don't care if he doesn't get a stat, to be honest. I mean, he's not in my dream team. So, I mean, as long as, his opponent doesn't get a stat. We don't know the thinking. The other one that I like, I don't know if this guy is probably a key defender, is Williams. He seems, the left-footed, he seems to come and go in and out of the team. I rate the guy, but I'm not sure if he's a key defender. The other defenders that we have, Luke Parks. I don't know if Luke Parks is a key defender or is up is up for that role. I mean, I don't know what he was like in the VFL. So yeah, it's one of two. It's Young or Plowman, definitely. You know, there's no other. I don't think there's anyone else that we can use tall defenders. Do you think?
Okay, well, it's funny you mentioned that. It's funny you mentioned Parks
Mm,
because people I know were listening to the Michael Voss press conference,
yeah.
he said and they said to me that it was Parks and Young that did very, very well in the twos. So they were
Okay.
being looked at. So now whether that actually happens or not, that is a different story altogether. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, we
I
will
know.
be keeping an eye on that.
I know David Rees-Jones is a big rap for him. I saw him. I saw David Rees-Jones interviewed on the Jumper Punch YouTube channel, and he's a very big rap for young Parks. He was okay. I thought he was serviceable last year, but then I don't really think he got much of a go. Do you?
Well, just looking at Parks's stats in round one of the VFL, which was a win as well, by the way, against the Brisbane Lions.
Yeah.
He had 12 touches, 11 of them kicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, 11 of them kicks, 7 of them marks, and 1 handball.
Okay.
So, you know, um, is that a good standard for him at VFL level? Yeah. Is it going to be enough for him to get into the AFL? Might get him a bench spot, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's going to get. I'm not sure it's going to get him to break into the side.
No, me either. I'm just looking at the stats. That's sorry, everyone. I'm looking at. He's 192 centimeters and 86 kilos compared to Plowman, 193 centimeters and 87 kilos. And what number's Oscar McDonald? 40 something, isn't he?
39,
39.
39.
Okay, and Oscar McDonald's 196, but a whopping 98 kilos. So I guess what we need to also do is have a look at who are the big forwards at Hawthorn, right? So, do we actually need to play two players? I don't know. You know, who I'm trying to get the last week's Hawthorn team up. Teams lineup. As we all know, these lineups probably never work, but they had Jack Gunston. So I would say that Wiedering would take Jack Gunston.
Yes, he will.
M. Lewis, who I don't really know much about.
That's Mitch Lewis.
Mitch Lewis. Gee, he's 199 centimetres. He's a ruckman. Corey Wingard. He's not really a key forward. Chad Wingard. What did I say? Corey. Then you got
Corey.
Dylan Moore. Yeah, Corey. And then they've got Ben McAvoy at centre half forward. So that they seem to be playing two ruckmen. So, we may not need the extra tall defender. They might just go with Wiedering. I don't know. So I guess that's an interesting point. We'll probably know a bit more. But if we're going to go a like for like, my money's probably on Plowman. Your money's on Young. If we're not going to go like for like, if they think that they don't need to play that other tall defender, I wouldn't be surprised if we keep a couple of the other players in them. Like we were talking about Chera definitely coming in, right?
Yes, he does.
And your viewpoint is that Fogarty, whatever, however you wish to pronounce it, let's call it Fogarty. You think he's going to go out? Do you think
Yes.
that's yeah? So my view is it's either Fogarty or Lockie O'Brien, but I think Lockie O'Brien did enough last week to keep his spot. And then the other interesting point is maybe we bring in Martin for Oscar McDonald. I don't know. No. Hi, Gina. Gina's saying, hi, guys. Need our backline up and about. Lewis Young in the backline. Yeah, we're just discussing that, Gina, whether it's a Lewis Young or Plowman or whether we bring in someone like it's Tom Williams, isn't it?
Williamson.
Oh,
That's
Williamson, is
Tom
it? Sorry.
Williamson.
Sorry to Mr. Williamson and the family. Oh, Gina says Plowman out. She's on the bandwagon already. She's one of them out. I feel sorry for the young guy. I really rated Caleb Marchbank, but geez, that guy's had a horrid run of injuries, hasn't he?
He's had about as much luck as Doherty has had with injury. Let's be honest.
Yes. Gina says, don't forget Parks. Yeah, we've mentioned Luke Parks.
Yeah, we've just been discussing that.
Yeah, we've been discussing. Look, I don't get to see the VFL, and I'm sure you probably didn't watch it either, Beachy. But I'm sure that Michael Voss has got people there watching it, and nothing to say that Parks or even Plowman might find a second wind, as has Kennedy. Bam Bam a couple of years ago, people were prepared to get rid of. Oh, he's too slow and doesn't get in and under, and he's not this and he's not that. Now everyone's going, oh, Kennedy's the bee's knees. So I don't know, maybe new coach, maybe new enthusiasm. So we'll see what happens. But definitely Oscar McDonald's out. So we know that. Two things that we can be sure of, other than death and taxes, Beachy, is that McDonald's out and Chera's in. Gina says Kemp. I don't know. I don't think Kemp had that good a game in the twos from all the reports.
Let me bring up the stats.
Yeah,
just keep talking while you do that.
I will. I like Kemp, Gina. To be honest, because when he came to the club, he had that first year out. He had that operation when we selected him. So I don't really think we've seen enough of him. The bloke I really like is Stocker, but hopefully he has a good game in the twos. But guys, and I know there's not a lot of people watching. This is a good problem to have. At Carlton, we haven't had this problem for ages. Who do we drop? Who do we bring in? It's been the same old sort of turnstile where we bring in people that don't perform for other people that don't perform. So, what are the stats on Kemp, Beachy?
7 disposals, 3 of them kicks, 4 handballs, and 2 behinds.
What's his stats? What was he drafted as a defender, a forward, or as a mid, or
defender?
Do you know?
A half-backer.
Okay,
a half-backer.
I think Williams, not Williams. Yeah, Zach Williams played a lot of defence last week. I think that's his position. Sardi on one. And then Doherty. I mean, Wiedering had a bad game last week by Wiedering standards. But I think he'll turn it around this week.
Yeah,
so Chris,
we can allow. Yep.
So Chris, definitely McDonald out. Definitely Chera in, right?
Yes.
So if we're the selection committee, make your selections. Who's out and who's in? Your ins and outs.
McDonald, we know, is out for sure. Chera is in.
So your outs are McDonald so far.
Yeah. And my in
Chera.
Is Chera.
Okay.
I'm now tossing up whether I play Martin and drop someone like a Fogarty or O'Brien, or do I give them one more crack against someone like a Hawks to see how they can go this week?
Yeah.
And Jenna's just mentioned it as well. I'm also tossing up Jack Martin, who is coming back from health and safety protocol. Yeah. We are aware of that. So I'm tossing that up at the moment. I'm probably going to say let's give Fogarty and O'Brien one more crack just to see what they can do against a side like Hawthorn.
Yep.
If they don't sort of lift their own standards again, then I think we look at bringing more changes in. I am aware of what O'Brien did last weekend against the Dogs. He ran all day. He laid a great tackle. He unfortunately didn't quite get the goal after getting a free kick, but we'll leave that to one side.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much going to be it at the moment. I think that's probably the only change I'm going to go with.
Okay, so just one change.
I think so.
Mark, so you think McDonald out and Chera in? That's it?
I think so.
Yeah. I'm going to throw a left field out there for you. I thought Corey Durden didn't really do that much last week, and he's a young guy. So it's going to be interesting to see whether we persist with him again. So I'm going to go McDonald out, and I think it's either Plowman or Young. I'm going to go Mr. Plow. I know Gina doesn't want him in, but I think that
there's a few supporters. I think there's a few supporters of ours that will say no to Plowman, but we'll leave that
think
to one
she's in.
side.
I think Chera will come in at the expense of Fogarty or Fogarty again. I mean, I actually think that Martin will come in for Durden. Now, don't shoot me, people. I like Mr. Durden, Corey Durden. But, you know, I don't know. Well, Gina says that Fogarty and Plowman and Oscar are out. Well, yeah, possibly. But I think that McDonald will go out, and I think Plowman will keep his spot. I think Chera will definitely come in, and I think Fogarty will make way for him. This one I'm 50-50 on. Martin for Durden. Martin may need a week in the twos. I don't think in the first game, I don't really think I know he kicked that 50-metre goal in the last quarter when we needed it, but did he do much else? I don't know. Zach Williams, even though he's coming back from health and safety protocols, he may not be 100% fit. I mean, I caught COVID in February, and I'm still having trouble with my breathing. And I used to run every day before that. Now I can't even run for 5 minutes without stopping and and I had to go. I went to the doctor again today, and he x-rayed my lungs, saying the same thing. He said, "Yeah, it's probably going to take you a good 3 months to get over it." Long COVID. I don't make it up. So it could be interesting. Martin may not, even though he's come out of health and safety protocols, he may not be fit. Maybe the same with Chera, but we hope all the best for him. But so
I guess there's one other question. Who's the medical sub? Who's going to be the medical sub, do you reckon?
Well, could be Fogarty or Durden then.
Okay.
Mate, could even be Luke Parks in case one of the key defenders goes down. I guess. Yeah, that's a good, interesting question. I would say the game is being played at Marvel on Sunday, isn't it? MCG. What's the weather prediction? I don't think it's coming up for rain, is it?
I don't believe so, but we're talking Melbourne here, Joe.
Yeah, sorry.
God knows what's going to happen.
I've been away 10 years and I haven't been back to Melbourne for 3. So, yeah, I guess. You could walk out the door in shorts and 3 hours later go and buy a puffer jacket and still be cold.
19, max of 19, shower or 2, 70% chance of rain. Possible rainfall is 0 to 6 millimetres.
Okay. So I don't think that'll play a big factor. So, that Chris has gone for McDonald out, Chera in, and are you going to keep Plowman as your medical sub, or would you put Young there as your medical sub then, Beachy?
I'd probably keep Plowman as the medical sub, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
you just got to make sure that you have something. You got to make sure you have someone there ready to go in case something goes wrong.
Yeah, I guess. So I've gone McDonald out, Plowman in, Chera out, Chera in, Fogarty out, Martin in, Durden out, and I'm going to go with Durden as the medical sub. So that's my viewpoints. Predictions, Beachy. Now, I don't think, I think a couple of weeks ago everyone looked at it and said, oh, well, if we lose against Richmond and the Dogs, we've got an easy game against the Hawks. Well, let me tell you, I watched the Hawthorn-Port Adelaide game, and the Hawks.
So did I.
They ain't a pushover. Maybe Port played poorly, but still they won by 10 goals. And you think about it,
they jumped them.
Yeah, you played Port at Port. They're quick at Hawthorn, so I don't think this. I think this could be. We don't want to go in there lackadaisical, basically.
No, we don't want to go in overconfident.
Yeah. Having said that, I still think I think it'll be another close game. Maybe these close games are good for us because good teams win close games. Having said that, I think it's going to be a close game. Again, I mentioned it last week on the show. We have possibly one of the best two forward combinations in Harry and Charlie.
There is no doubt.
So it's a bit like Jeremy Cameron and Tom Hawkins. Imagine them a few years ago if they were together. Right?
Yeah.
And I think Harry and Charlie could be better. The viewpoint.
There is no doubt about that.
He's a big unit, that Harry, and geez, he's filled out, right?
He's going to get bigger.
I know.
He is going to get bigger.
He's monstrous. He'd have to be 100 kegs, wouldn't he? Let me
just
check.
over. Just over, I reckon.
Hey, you know something else we've forgotten about, Chris, is you may be onto something here because we've always got McGovern who could play tall down back too. So, but the trouble is the Hawks seem to play those two big blokes up forward. So, look, having said that, I'm still going to go Carlton, head and heart, Carlton. 18 points, I'd say. 17.5 points is the line. I reckon we'll win by 3 goals. What about you, Chris? What do you think?
Yeah, I think the same. I reckon we're gonna do them. It's probably going to be no more than 3 goals. The Hawks will stay with us. I don't think they're going to I don't think they're going to get the jump on us again, so like they did last week against the Power, because they just walked it out and isolated the Port defenders into one-on-one situations, which the Hawks were just able to win every time. So,
I thought they did it quite. I thought Port applied absolutely zero pressure. If I was not David Koch, what's his name? Kenny Hinkley, the coach, I would be a worried man. I really would. I mean, they got that Jeremy Finlayson, who I thought was not bad, but I think maybe he was being masked up there at GWS. He looked pathetic. And they've got Charlie Dixon out. So still...
Aaliyah also out.
Yeah, Aaliyah's out. Hang on, Gina says, do you realise if we lose, I have to sing their theme song? Whereabouts, Gina? At work? Because if it is, if we do lose, we'd like a video of this. We'll open the show with it. Maybe, Gina, maybe you can make a bet with Chris and I. Maybe Gina can make a bet with us that if we win, that she opens the show next week singing the Carlton theme song in her Carlton hat, jumper, scarf. There you go, Gina. There's a challenge for you. She says backline will be our problem. I think we thought that all year, even before the season started, the backline. Wouldn't we like Liam Jones back? I know he's 30 or 31, but just for this year, just to help one of the younger guys like a Lewis Young or, then we wouldn't have to play Plowman, even till Caleb Marchbank gets fit. Yeah, Caleb Marchbank's a good footballer. Well, I think he is. But, so Chris has gone Carlton. 3 goals, Chris, or 4?
3.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Carlton 3 points, 3 goals, 3 points. And on that note, we're going to keep this show short and sharp and sweet. We've gone through our ins and outs. I'll put them up on the website. People are more than happy to abuse us. Can have a go. Teams will be out tomorrow night, Chris, or the Sunday. Do they normally wait till the weekend?
I think I think they're going to try and go back to what it was usually.
By Thursday night?
I think they've released tomorrow night's teams tonight, and then
Yeah.
tomorrow I think Friday, Saturday are confirmed, and then Sunday I think will be released, but we'll have an extended bench.
Yeah.
So
I think we should go back to Thursday nights. Give us the teams. But hang on, I'll tell you, the Bulldogs team has just been announced. Where is it? Oh no, that's Bulldogs. No, has it? Teams lineups.
I thought it would be, considering.
Yeah, I saw it somewhere. The AFL, they always love. Oh, here it is. They love changing their apps. Why do any programmers out there? Why do you always change apps? In Bailey Smith, out Bailey Williams, Hayden Crozier, and the Swans, Joel Amadi, and then Sheldrick, Logan, and McDonald omitted. So yeah, so they show the teams. On that note, Chris, congratulations to the Aussies last night beating Pakistan in the one-day international in the men's. The girls are going. The girls are going all guns blazing. They had, I think, the 8th highest opening partnership last night in a T50 game, 50 over limited, and something that whenever there's always good, you've always got to have bad. The Socceroos. Now we've got to play on June the 6th. I can bag them here. Get rid of Graham Arnold. He is hopeless.
No, but, you're not lying. You're not lying, Joe.
You can only beat who you put on the park. So on that note, go Blues. Chris, thank you very much for joining us. Get back to watching the Shane Warne Memorial with Eddie everywhere. Thanks to our viewers, and hopefully we'll be back next Wednesday, sprouting 3-0. Just a reminder, don't forget to watch Vince Lochisano, Steve Katib on Sunday night. The boys on the Jumper Punch on Blue Abroad Tuesday night. Great show last night. Shout out to Rocco and the boys. And on that, good night. Go Blue Baggers.
Thank you,
Chris.